Yeah, just a quick review of the FREETOO ergonomical thumb brace. So this brace is basically made specifically to immobilize the thumb joint. It'll immobilize a couple of the joints. One of the more popular joints that you have trouble with is your CMC joint at the bottom. So a lot of times you can have CMC joint arthritis. That's also a carpal metacarpal joint. Like that's all at the base of the thumb. If you have a problem there, you know it. You know, I don't need to tell you about it. You also have a couple other joints that'll kind of immobilize as well. So what this brace does is basically it supports the joint, it restricts its motion. So all this gives the joint a chance to rest, recover, and not get overstressed as you do things. So two things: you might have a problem in the thumb and you need to rest it, or that's the first reason you want to use it. The second reason is you just want to avoid a thumb problem. Maybe in the past you've sprained your thumb, or you have thumb arthritis that flares up now and then. Say you've got a day where you're going to be using your hands a lot, so you can put this brace on, and that way you can prevent any problems in your joint as well. So it's not just for treatment, also for prevention. So a few points about this particular brace: it does fit either the left or the right hand, so keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about did I get a right or a left. And it also has 3 straps on it, which I think is good because the more straps, the more you can kind of modify it and customize it for you specifically. You can get it tight in certain areas and loose in other ones. So I think more straps equals more comfort, actually. So a lot of times when you put the brace on, especially if you have a chronic conditions like arthritis in that joint, the CMC joint, these are long-term conditions. So a lot of times the brace does, your thumb feels great while it's in the brace, but when you take it off, you're back to where you started. So if that's the case with you, there are some things actually you can do for your thumb that will give you long-term carryover. That way you won't have to worry about maybe necessarily using the brace all the time or as much or ever. As an example, the Healthy Thumb Handbook is where I'm getting this stuff from. One example. So if you have problems in the joint, okay, you can have joint pain. A lot of times the muscles react to what's going on in the joint. So now not only do you have pain coming from the joint, you also have pain coming from the muscles, okay? And keep in mind, there's such a thing as asymptomatic arthritis. So you can have like a thumb that has arthritis in it. You have a lot of pain. You think it's coming from the thumb joint, but really it's coming from the muscles. So a lot of times there's joint pain and there's muscular pain. So a component of your pain could be muscular. Muscles develop these things called trigger points. So these are things that you can actually work out and iron out, kind of massage them out. And so treat your muscular pain, and then maybe you even won't have any pain. I mean, that's a very strong possibility. This book will show you how to do that. If you do have CMC joint arthritis in that lower thumb joint, your web space is at risk for getting really tight, so you're going to want to keep your web space stretched out. Keep in mind that joints that are irritated or arthritic, they love to be distracted. That's where you kind of pull them apart slightly. Kind of vacation for the joint because it takes all the pressure off the joint, so they just love that. So there is a technique you can use to distract it, and good at getting down pain, kind of stretching things out, get the circulation going. Simple technique. Getting maximal thumb joint stability. So no matter what your problem is in the thumb, if you have a problem with that base of the thumb, you can get that joint stronger actually you don't really get the joint stronger, but there are muscles that actually support that joint. So if you have like CMC joint arthritis or base of the thumb arthritis, or let's say you overworked it and you have pain right at the bottom there, and if you have it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There is a muscle called your abductor pollicis longus. It attaches right to the base of the thumb there, right where you're having all the trouble. So if you get that stronger, you get more stability in the joint. And you get more dynamic stability, meaning like you get more stability as you're moving it, okay? More control over the joint. That all equals less pain. So this book advocates one exercise for that muscle. Uses a rubber band for resistance. So week by week, as you get stronger, you get more control over the joint, then you get less pain, whether you have a brace on or not. There is one other muscle to strengthen. It's called your first dorsal interossei muscle. As you can see, it attaches down there where you're having all the trouble at. Another exercise. Now these exercises take like maybe less than 2 minutes to do. Okay, so you're talking maybe 5 minutes for both exercises. You only do them 2 to 3 times a week. So that's not really not much of a time investment. If you're not a big exerciser, that's a big plus. But anyway, yeah, lots of stuff you can do for your thumb if you know how. But hey, nothing's like, putting a brace on, get that rest that thing, immobilize it, get that instant relief. So it's a good brace. Check it out.